Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's video, I'm going to go through one of the greatest opportunities that may well be presenting itself. It's in a sector that I haven't covered for many months now, and I've had repeated requests over many months by some of you asking me to start looking into this sector. And there was a very good reason why I haven't done so, which I'll go through a little bit later. So I'm going to have a look at this opportunity that may well be presenting itself. I'm also going to be looking at the 60-day cycle and looking at exactly where we are and what the possible outcomes are in this last 10 days of the 60-day cycle low that we're entering now. I'll also be looking at one of the charts that is showing that Bitcoin is about to explode imminently. So if that sounds interesting, then without further ado, get yourself a cup of tea, sit yourself down, eyes on the screen, and let's get cracking. But before I begin, the usual polite reminder, please remember everything in my videos is always for educational purposes. Nothing should be taken as financial advice. Please do your wider research before you make any investment decisions. And that applies more to today's video than any other video that I've done. And you'll see why that is the case. Okay, so before I start onto the sector that I'm talking about, I want to start off by giving you a few quotations which can be life-changing for those who can see the greater message in these quotations. The first quotation I want to start off with is this one by Albert Einstein, and that is that in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. The second quotation on the same theme is that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And the final quotation basically says that entrepreneurs are simply those who understand that there is little difference between obstacle and opportunity and are able to turn both to their advantage. And that's by Victor Kiam. And the reason why I'm actually talking about opportunity and obstacles and dangers and problems, etc. here is that I'm going to be talking about a sector which is very badly beaten up. And through all the difficulty and the pessimism that actually surrounds this sector, I feel, and please remember this is just my opinion, my perspective, nothing to do with financial advice, just telling you what I think, just my views, and I'm trying to share that view with you. And that is that out of that pessimism, there may be, with a high degree of probability, a great opportunity unfolding. So the sector I'm talking about is the Bitcoin miners. And what I'm going to do today is have a look at some of the charts to give you a flavor of exactly what's happened to this sector over the last 12 months of this brutal Bitcoin bear market. And these are just some of the Bitcoin miners here. I've listed about 17 of them. There's about 20 that have been quoted on the NASDAQ and various other exchanges. And the reason why I say that people are very pessimistic about this sector is because of the percentage falls that have occurred here. As you can see, the percentage fall for these miners here, Riot 96% fall, Marathon 96%, Hut 8 95%, Cypher Mining 97%, etc. You get these 99% ones for those who were actually on the verge of going bankrupt, like Core Scientific here and Argo. So you can see the whole list in this sector are between 94 and 99% lower today than they were at their peaks back in November 2021. If we have a look at some of these charts, you'll get a flavor of exactly what's happened here. The first one I want to have a look at is Marathon here. So before the bull market started back in August, September, October 2020 here, Marathon has gone from these levels down here at around what, $1.50, went up the hill, and over the last 12 months has come down the hill. So whatever you made over here, you've lost down here. The same with Riot. The bull market started over here. We went up the hill and down the hill. Another one here, Clean Spark, went up the hill and down the hill. And every chart is looking exactly the same, and it's culminating in a price action at these levels down here after this massive fall along the way with a 96 to 99% fall. I won't go into all of them because the charts look exactly the same. And please remember these stocks, and before I go into the chart analysis and what have you, I just want to say to everybody that these miners come with an incredibly strong warning that they are extremely volatile and extremely risky. You can definitely lose the shirt on your back with these, but with the high risk and the high volatility comes high reward. And if you're of a nervous disposition, these are not the stocks that you should be looking at. And with all the adversity of these stocks, for me anyway, I can only talk about myself, comes a great opportunity down here. Because when the bull market starts, what happened over here is more than likely, with a high degree of probability, going to happen over here and mirror what happened here. And what I've done here is that I've created for myself, and please remember this is not financial advice. I feel as though I need to keep mentioning that because you can lose everything on this, and I really don't want anybody to do that. So what I've done is I've actually created for myself a Bitcoin miners portfolio, and what we can do on the channel here, start off with a starting capital of about £10,000, and these are the stocks that I've picked amongst all of the ones I've just shown you, which I think are more than likely going to survive. And I've got two on the list which have already gone bankrupt virtually and are doing restructuring as we talk now. So I'm just putting them on the waiting list because I think they present a very good opportunity if they can come out the other side. But until then, I've got these 8 stocks which I think are going to perform very, very well over the next 18 months to 3 years. And for our purposes, we can start off with a capital of about £10,000, and the weighting that I've done in terms of the amounts assigned to each of these stocks is that my own feeling is that Marathon and Cypher Mining are the two that I think personally are probably going to do the best. Obviously, any of the others can do much better. This is investing. There are no guarantees, there are no certainties. It's all about possibilities and probabilities. Then the rest of the stocks, I'm assigning £1,000 each. Riot, CleanSpark, Hut 8, Bitfarms, Iris Energy, and Mawson. So what I'll do is, from today, I'll fill in these blanks over here of buying these stocks at today's prices, the units bought here, the price bought, and then I'll go through the current price as we do the videos, and the profit and loss over the next 18 months to 3 years. And let's see where they go to. It's a bit of fun exercise. This portfolio does reflect some of my own investments. And the way I would look at this from an investor's point of view is that you shouldn't invest anything more than you can lose on these types of stocks. Like I say, they're extremely volatile, extremely risky, but they are presenting a high reward for the risk that you take. And that's why I showed you those quotations. With every adversity comes opportunity. Through every difficulty, there is lurking behind that an opportunity. So I just want to show you one chart, and that is of Marathon Digital Holdings, and why I think that this may well have bottomed out. Please remember, these miners are a leverage play on the Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin falls by 10%, these will fall by 20, 30, 40%. But conversely, if the Bitcoin price goes up by 10, 20%, these will go up by 30, 40, and 50%. So as this price was coming along, I was watching the charts for all these miners, and I made these notes that maybe it's going to come back down to these levels here where there's a lot of support. And as you can see, the price seems to have come just at those levels here at around about 3.5, 4.5 here. The current price is 422, and as you probably noticed if you've been following the miners, that they all had a very green day yesterday. As you can see here, some of them went up by as much as 48 and 57%. That was Argo and Core Scientific. These are the two I'm actually watching very closely. I'm not willing to invest in these two at the moment because they're just so volatile. They're going up by 50%, coming down by 20, 30%, etc., etc. And you can really get chopped up with these types of stocks. But you can see with the other ones, Greenidge here, 32% up, DigiHost, 25% up, and Marathon here, 24% up. So there were very, very high figures here. It seems though that the Bitcoin miners are finally beginning to turn around from their low positions here. But please bear in mind when I go through the 60-day cycle that there may well be one more flush out, and if that is the case, then we may well break these support lines here. But the next support line will be at these levels here where Marathon found support in the past. But as we've been coming down, just like with Bitcoin, it's created certain support and resistance points along the way where there would be a great opportunity to actually take profits. And I'll go through some of these as the opportunity presents itself when we do the videos at the time. And the opportunity is this, that should any of these miners get back to their old all-time highs, like this one here for Marathon was at $84, then that would represent from the lows here at 311 a 25x just to get back to the old all-time high 12-13 months ago. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I say, there is a great opportunity, but please remember that they are extremely volatile, and maybe the phrase that normally comes to mind is that fortunes favor the brave, and it is a brave person who wants to take these types of stocks on. So I'll do a regular miners report as we go along, just to give you an insight into exactly what's happening, and I'll show you exactly what's happening with the current price on these and what the profit and loss is, and it'll be a little bit of fun to find out exactly the growth in these stocks here from where they are, where they're beaten up very, very badly. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that insight into the Bitcoin miners. And if you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. Okay, moving on to the 60-day cycle and to show you exactly where we are and what outcomes can possibly occur in the last stretch of this 60-day cycle here. So back from where we started this cycle here on the Wednesday 9th of November, we are currently on day 57, and we have finally entered the critical box here. This is where sparks fly, and the sparks may fly because I'm going to show you a chart that's saying that Bitcoin is about to explode imminently. So these were the targets I gave you over here. 15,992 and 16,273, that when we were coming down here, that as we go into the 60-day cycle, we have a very high degree of probability to meet this first target here, which was at 16.2, and we came within $50 at this point here of that target. But just like Bitcoin does, it surprised us that instead of continuing that to the second target here of 15.9, it started moving up. And I said at the time that if we continue sideways into this cycle and we end on a higher low from these points over here, then that would create a very bullish pattern that we may well have come with a higher degree of probability to the end of this bear market. And that would mark this point here at 15.4 as the bottom of this market. Now, I know that's not what most people are expecting, and I've seen very commonly low figures being bandied about in terms of from a range of around 3,000 all the way up to 14,000. And that can still possibly happen. Like I say, there are no guarantees or certainties. These are just possibilities and probabilities that I'm looking at to see what the probabilities are of what can happen here. So the current price is at 16,789. But the reason why I've drawn this box is that sometimes, I've noticed this many times with Bitcoin, that when it comes to the end of a cycle, it gives the impression of one thing, but then does the other right at the tail end of that cycle. So what I'm wary of at the moment is that the trajectory seems to be going to this side here, giving the impression that we're going to be going up. And then just in the last 5, 6, 7 days, within the range of the 60-day cycle, i.e. it's a 60-day cycle with possibly 5 to 10 days either side. And then on the last stretch, when everybody's sucked into the rally, it does this and takes you all the way down very, very quickly. So we've always got to be mindful of that. However, in the absence of that happening, this looks very bullish currently at the moment, with a rising demand price going into the 60-day cycle low. And if we can get out of this box anywhere around here, what that does is it increases the likelihood, the probability that the bottom is in for this bear market. And I would have a lot of confidence going into the next cycle. So we'll just have to wait and see. We've now entered the critical box where things can happen. And the reason why I'm saying that there is a chart that's showing that we may well be about to explode to the up or the downside are the daily Bollinger Bands. And if you've been following me on Twitter, you'll know that I was referring to this in this tweet a few days ago, that the Bollinger Bands are the tightest for 2.5 years over here, and that the Bitcoin price is about to break. It did break at that time to this candle here, but I think there's a bigger break coming up. It's very rare that we stay within a band this tight for too long. So sooner or later, within the next few days, I would be expecting this to break to the up or to the downside. And because we're coming into the 60-day cycle low, I'm just a little bit worried that any news from these exchanges that have been in trouble, like Binance, Grayscale, and Genesis, that may be the tipping point. But having said that, everybody knows that they're in trouble. Everybody knows that news is out there. So therefore, that's already baked into the price over here. It's already done. So unless it's something monumental, something different, something new, something really bad, it may well be that we have an explosion to the upside and catches everybody out who are bearish to the downside. So only time will tell, but keep an eye on the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. If you want to follow me on Twitter in between the videos, then just follow the link below all of my videos. And when you click on that, then you'll be able to follow me on the Twitter in between the videos. Okay, so we'll leave it there. I hope you found value in the video. Please let me know what your thoughts are on the Bitcoin miners, and if that's something that's of interest to you, I'd be very interested to know what your thoughts are on having a regular section in my videos on the Bitcoin miners. So if you've got any comments, questions or suggestions, then please leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.